Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Change doesn't happen in one grand moment. It doesn't happen in one big dramatic leap. No, the real power of transformation comes from the smallest of actions compounded over time. You want to change your life, you want to see real progress, start by focusing on improving just 1% every single day. That doesn't sound like much, and you're right. On any given day, it doesn't feel like much. But here's the thing, consistency, not grand gestures, is what will carry you forward. It's about showing up. It's about making that decision each and every day to be just a little bit better than the day before. That's the secret. Success doesn't care if you stumble. What matters is that you get back up. You see, setbacks are part of the process. The greats didn't get to the top by avoiding failure. They got there by bouncing back, by picking themselves up and making the next day count, even if it was only by 1%. So when life knocks you down, and trust me, it will, you keep moving forward. Let me remind you, the road to success is paved with small daily victories. That 1% you improve today compounds tomorrow and the day after that. Before long, you'll look up and realize that those little steps have led you further than you could have ever imagined. But you've got to focus. You've got to set your sights on something, a goal. It doesn't have to be huge. It just has to be meaningful. The clearer your goal, the easier it is to show up, to put in the work, and to keep pushing, even when the days feel long and the progress feels slow. And when you keep your eyes on that goal, you'll be amazed at how far you've come in the long run. You know what? You can't control everything in this world. That's the truth. But you can control your effort. You can control your attitude. You can control your actions. And those things will change the game for you. So focus on what you can control and give it your all. Now, here's the deal. Today is the day. Right now, it's time to commit to the 1% rule. Don't wait until tomorrow. Start today. Make that commitment to improve just a little bit. And before you know it, you'll see that 1% a day turns into something far greater than you could ever imagine. Because the person you're becoming, they're waiting for you. And it all starts with that 1%. Let's go. I want you to understand something. If you're sitting there thinking that the life you want to live is too far out of reach, too distant, let me set the record straight. Transformation doesn't happen all at once. It doesn't happen in one grand act or with some lightning bolt of inspiration that suddenly changes everything. No, real transformation is built on the foundation of small, everyday changes. And when you think of changing your life, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. You think about how far you are from where you want to be, and the task seems insurmountable. You think you have to make huge leaps and do something extraordinary to get to where you want to go. But I'm telling you, it's not the big moves that will make the difference, it's the small ones. The 1% changes. If you don't need to revolutionize your life in a day, start by focusing on improving just a tiny bit every day. Maybe it's an extra 10 minutes of effort in your workout, or choosing a healthy meal over fast food, or setting aside just 15 minutes to read or to think or to plan for tomorrow. It may feel insignificant in the moment, but that's the power of it. It's the consistency, not the magnitude, that will transform you. We live in a world where we want instant results, we want quick fixes, but life doesn't work that way. The way to build a life of success and fulfillment is not through shortcuts or overnight transformations. It's through steady, consistent progress. And guess what? You're going to fail along the way. You're going to hit roadblocks. You're going to feel like giving up. But it's in those moments when you push through that the small changes begin to add up and they compound into something much greater than you ever imagined. So don't dismiss the small steps. Don't underestimate what seems like nothing. Because when you commit to just a little bit of improvement every day, over time you're going to look back and see that those little steps turned into giant leaps forward. It's the small changes that are the foundation of everything. The key is to take the first step and then to keep taking it every day, no matter what. That's how you transform your life. It's not about being perfect. It's not about doing everything right from the start. The real power is in being consistent, in showing up every single day, no matter how you feel, no matter what's going on in your life. Consistency is the thing that separates those who make it from those who don't. It's the unsung hero of success. You see, most people get caught up in the idea that success is a single big moment, that is something you either get in one shot or you don't. But I'm here to tell you that's wrong. Real success is the result of a series of small actions repeated over and over again, day after day. It's the daily grind, the work you put in when no one's watching. It's easy to show up when everything's going great, but the question is, are you showing up when it's hard? When you're tired? When the odds seem stacked against you? That's what separates the people who rise from the people who fall. It's that commitment to keep going when the progress doesn't seem fast enough, when you can't see the fruits of your labor right away. The world is filled with people who start something but never finish. They get excited for a week, a month, maybe even a year, and then they give up. But it's those who keep showing up, even when the results aren't obvious, who find success in the end. You may not see the difference today or tomorrow or even next month, but if you're consistent, those small actions begin to compound. You improve a little bit every day. That adds up. If you keep putting in the work, day after day, week after week, year after year, that's when the magic happens. When you stayed consistent, even when things weren't perfect, that's when you look up and realize just how far you've come. I think about it like this: if you're working towards something, but you skip a day here and there, you think it won't matter. But every day you miss is a step you're not taking, and eventually those missteps start to add up too. You fall behind, you lose momentum. But the people who stay consistent, the ones who say, I'm showing up today no matter what, those are the people who keep moving forward, even if it's just a little bit. And before long, they're further ahead than everyone else. It's easy to start something, but the real challenge, the real strength comes in keeping the commitment going. You show up even when you're not feeling it. You put in the work even when you don't see the immediate reward. And in doing that, you're building something far more valuable than you realize. You're building your character, you're building trust in yourself, you're building a work ethic that won't quit. So don't let the lack of instant results fool you into thinking nothing's happening. Every day you show up and do the work, you're making progress. The consistency, even when it feels small, is what adds up to the big transformations. It's not flashy, it's not easy, but I'll tell you, it's the only way to get where you want to go. Stay committed, stay consistent, and over time, the results will speak for themselves. Let me tell you something, setbacks are part of the journey. They're not an obstacle to success, they are success. Because if you're not facing setbacks, you're probably not pushing yourself hard enough. You're probably not challenging yourself enough. And if you're not challenging yourself, then what are you really doing? Here's the truth: life is full of setbacks. There's no way around them. You're going to hit walls, you're going to fall down, you're going to fail again and again. And that's okay. It's part of the process. I'm here to tell you it's not the setbacks that define you, it's how you respond to them. The easy thing would be to give up. The easy thing would be to throw in the towel, to walk away and say, well, I tried and it didn't work. I guess it's just not meant for me, but that's not how champions think. That's not how the people who succeed long-term think. They see setbacks as temporary, as opportunities to learn and grow. They see failure as the best teacher they'll ever have. It doesn't matter how many times you fall down. So what matters is how you get back up. I know it's tough when you're in the middle of it, when everything seems to be going wrong. You feel discouraged, you feel like maybe you're just not cut out for it. But I need you to understand that every setback, every failure, every mistake is shaping you, teaching you something. It's part of the process that makes you stronger, smarter, and more resilient. The key is to never let the setback define you. You decide how the story goes. When you hit a wall, you don't have to break down. You don't have to throw in the towel. You don't have to quit. You take a step back, you reevaluate, you learn from it, you adjust, you keep pushing forward. The most successful people are the ones who can turn failure into fuel, setbacks into stepping stones. They don't let obstacles stop them, they let obstacles motivate them. And let me be clear, just because you're moving forward doesn't mean you won't face resistance. Every successful person, every champion, every person who's ever achieved something great has faced opposition. They've been knocked down, told they weren't good enough, faced challenges that seemed impossible to overcome. But they didn't give up. They didn't let the setbacks stop them from reaching their goals. Instead, they kept going one step at a time. They dug deep and found strength they didn't even know they had. The secret to overcoming setbacks is believing in yourself even when no one else does. It's staying committed to your vision and not letting the setbacks alter your course. When you face a setback, you don't quit, you press forward. You keep your head up and you learn to adapt. You look at the situation not as a roadblock, but as a lesson, as a new opportunity to grow. And you know what? Over time, those setbacks, the ones that felt like the end of the world at the time, will become your greatest assets. Because you'll look back and see how far you've come. You'll see the growth that came from those struggles. You'll be able to see the strength you built from the challenges you faced and how they shaped you into the person you are today. I'm telling you, when you go through tough times, don't just think about how hard it is. Think about what it's teaching you. Think about what it's preparing you for. Because the road to success is never smooth. But it's the people who embrace the challenges, who learn to rise after each fall, who end up achieving what they set out to do. So when the setbacks come and don't run from them. Don't shy away. Face them head on, because overcoming those setbacks is what will get you to the next level. It's what will transform you. And that transformation is what will take you all the way to the top. Let me tell you, momentum is everything. If you want to see real change in your life, you need to understand how powerful momentum is. Momentum is like the engine that drives you forward. It's the force that gets you out of bed when you don't feel like it, the energy that pushes you past the point where others give up. But here's the kicker, momentum isn't something that just appears out of nowhere. It's built. It's earned. One small step at a time. When you first start something, whether it's a new goal, a new routine, or a new challenge, it can feel like you're pushing a boulder uphill. The progress feels slow. You put in the effort, but it doesn't seem like you're getting anywhere. It's frustrating, no doubt. You might start questioning whether it's even worth it. But here's the thing, the hardest part isn't the beginning. The hardest part is sticking with it long enough to let the momentum build. You can't give up too soon, because once momentum kicks in, everything changes. When you're in a car and you're driving up a hill, it takes a lot of effort to get that car moving. The engine is working hard, you're pressing the gas and you're putting in the energy. But once you get to the top of the hill, the car keeps going. All of that effort, all of that energy starts to pay off. The car just rolls, that's momentum. The truth is, in the beginning, it feels like you're fighting for every inch, but as long as you keep showing up, as long as you stay consistent, something magical happens. The small actions you've been taking start to compound. They start to build on each other. And suddenly you're moving forward faster, easier, and with more confidence than before. What was once hard now feels natural, and before you know it, you're cruising, not straining anymore. That's the power of momentum. Now, momentum doesn't just happen on its own. It's a product of your actions. It's the result of the small improvements you make day after day. When you show up, even when it feels like the progress is too small to matter, you are stacking those wins. And every time you show up, you're adding fuel to the fire that will drive you toward your goals. That fire burns brighter the more consistent you are. Every time you take that small step, every time you push forward, you are creating a chain reaction. Each action connects to the next, and before you know it, you've built a force that's unstoppable. And let me tell you, once you hit that point where momentum is on your side, you start to see things differently. The obstacles that seemed huge at the start now feel like bumps in the road. You've got this new energy, this confidence that tells you, I've been here before, I've faced bigger challenges, and I've come through them. That's the power of momentum. It not only pushes you forward, it makes you stronger. But here's the thing, momentum doesn't last forever if you stop. The moment you stop showing up, the moment you stop putting in the work, the engine slows down. That's when you lose the momentum you've built. It's a fine balance. If you let up, if you take your foot off the gas, you'll start sliding back down that hill. Momentum is fragile in that way. But as long as you keep pushing, as long as you keep feeding that engine with effort, you will keep moving forward, and the path gets easier with every step. So if you want momentum to work for you, you've got to keep putting in the work. You've got to stay consistent. It's the small steps that build momentum. It's the commitment to showing up every day, even when it feels like nothing's happening. That creates that snowball effect. And when that snowball starts rolling, when that momentum kicks in, it's something that becomes almost unstoppable. It's not going to happen overnight. You've got to trust the process. You've got to trust that if you keep going, even when the results aren't obvious yet, you will build momentum. And when it clicks, when you finally feel that momentum carrying you, that's when the magic happens. That's when you start seeing the real results. That's when everything you've been working for starts to come to fruition. So I need you to understand momentum is your friend, but you've got to put in the work, you've got to earn it. And once you do, once you get that engine moving, nothing is going to stop you. Keep building, keep pushing, keep showing up, and before you know it, you'll be on a path you never thought possible. Momentum will carry you further than you ever imagined. Keep it rolling. They are not just something you write down on a piece of paper and forget about. Goals are the blueprint for your life. They are the roadmap that guides you through the chaos, the uncertainty, and the noise. Without goals, you're like a ship without a rudder, drifting wherever the wind takes you. But when you have a clear goal, a clear vision of what you want to achieve, it gives you direction. It gives you purpose. Now, I know a lot of people think goals are just about reaching the finish line. They think that once they hit a goal, it's over, they're done. But let me tell you, that's just the beginning. Goals are meant to push you. They're meant to stretch you, to take you out of your comfort zone. If your goals aren't making you a little uncomfortable, if they don't make you feel like you're aiming for something bigger than you can do on your own, then you're not dreaming big enough. The power of setting goals is in the clarity they provide. When you set a goal, you're not just saying, I want to be successful. No, you're saying, this is exactly where I'm going, and this is exactly where I'm going. And this is how I'm going to get there. A goal helps you break down the overwhelming task of life into smaller, manageable pieces. Instead of thinking about everything at once, you focus on the next step, the next milestone. You're no longer trying to figure it all out at once. But you've got a clear destination. And every day you're taking one step closer. Goals are not just about wishing for something. You can't just put something on your vision board and hope it falls into your lap. You've got to work for it. You've got to put in the effort, the sweat, the long hours. If you're serious about achieving your goals, you have to back them up with action. Every single day, you've got to get up, show up, and put in the work, even when you don't feel like it. You have to be relentless. Goals aren't achieved by thinking about them. They're achieved by working towards them day in and day out. But goals also give you motivation. When things get tough, when the world is telling you to quit, your goal is what keeps you going. When you're tired, when you're frustrated, when you feel like you've hit a wall, your goal is the thing that gets you back on your feet. It's your why. It's what reminds you of the bigger picture. And when you have that kind of motivation, when you know why you're doing something, the struggle doesn't seem so bad. You find the strength to keep pushing, to keep moving forward. One of the most important things you need to do when setting goals is make them specific and measurable. You need to know exactly what you're aiming for. A goal like I want to be successful is too vague. What does success look like? How will you know when you've reached it? But a goal like I want to run a marathon in under 4 hours, that's clear. That's measurable. And that's the kind of goal that gives you a target to aim for, a way to track your progress, and a reason to keep moving forward. Also, your goals need to be challenging, but they have to be achievable. Don't set yourself up for failure by creating goals that are too unrealistic. But at the same time, don't make them so easy that they don't push you. But you've got to find that balance, goals that make you stretch, but that, deep down you can accomplish if you put in the work. The key is in the journey. The goal is important, but the person you become in the process, that's what really matters. Because the road to achieving your goals is where the growth happens. Goals need to be flexible. Life is unpredictable. You're going to face obstacles you didn't expect. Things are going to come up that throw you off course. But that doesn't mean you should throw away your goals altogether. It means you adjust. It means you keep your eyes on the prize, but you're willing to change your path when necessary. Flexibility doesn't mean quitting. It means finding another way when the original plan doesn't work. But perhaps the most important part of setting goals is the belief that you can achieve them. You've got to have confidence in yourself. You've got to trust that no matter how big the mountain seems, you can climb it. If you don't believe in yourself, you're already defeated before you even start. But if you trust that you have what it takes, if you trust that with enough effort, persistence, and focus, you will reach your goals. That belief will carry you through the hardest times. And finally, I need you to understand that your goals don't just serve you, they serve the world. When you achieve your goals, when you reach your highest potential, it's not just about you, it's about what you can give back. It's about how your success can inspire someone else to pursue their own dreams, to set their own goals, to reach for something bigger than they thought possible. So don't take your goals lightly, take them seriously, treat them like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Your goals are the key to your transformation. They're the key to your growth. And when you set the right goals, when you're focused, when you're relentless in your pursuit, you will change your life. And you'll change the lives of those around you too, so don't wait. Set those goals, break them down into steps, and go after them with everything you've got. Your future is waiting for you. One of the most powerful lessons I've learned in my life is that you have to focus on what you can control. Life is unpredictable, it's chaotic, and it has a way of throwing things at you that you never expected. People will disappoint you, situations will change, and things won't always go as planned. You can't control all of that. You can't control the opinions of others, the economy, or the circumstances you're born into. But here's the good news, you don't have to. The real power lies in what you can control, and that's where you should direct your energy. Too many of us spend time and energy obsessing over things that are completely out of our hands. We get caught up in the opinions of others, the mistakes of our past, the circumstances of our present situation, and we allow those things to hold us back. We get frustrated, stressed, and discouraged over things that we cannot change, and we forget that the real power lies in the present moment. It lies in what you're doing right now. You can't change the past, you can't undo the mistakes you've made, but you can learn from them and use them to shape a better future. You can't control how others behave or what they think of you, but you can control how you react, how you respond, and how you carry yourself. You can't control the obstacles that come into your life, but you can control how you face them, how you overcome them, and how much effort you put into solving them. That's where your energy needs to go, on what you can control. The way you wake up in the morning, the mindset you choose to adopt, how you spend your time, those are things you can control. You decide whether or not you're going to work toward your goals today. But you decide how much effort you're going to put into improving yourself, into making progress, into learning something new. Every day you have the power to choose your actions. And your actions are what shape your life. Your actions are what ultimately determine the course of your destiny. Now, I know it's easy to get frustrated when things don't go your way. I know it's easy to look at the world and say, why me? Why is this happening? But when you focus on what you can control, you begin to shift your perspective. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstance and start seeing yourself as someone with the power to change your situation. This doesn't mean you won't face challenges. It doesn't mean you won't have setbacks, but it does mean that you're not going to let those challenges define you. You're not going to let the uncontrollable aspects of life stop you from doing everything that's within your power to move forward. You focus on what you can control and you let go of the rest. Take responsibility for yourself. Take responsibility for your attitude, for your actions, and for the energy you bring into the world. The way you show up each day matters. The choices you make today shape your tomorrow. Don't waste your time on things that drain you, things that don't move you forward. Don't get stuck in the frustration of things you cannot change. Instead, put that energy into what you can control. This means being mindful of your time. You can control how you spend it and how you invest it. How much of your time are you spending on things that add no value to your life? How much time are you wasting on negativity, on things that don't bring you closer to your goals? You can choose to invest your time in learning, in growing, and becoming better. You can choose to surround yourself with people who lift you up, people who inspire you, people who make you better. And you can choose to eliminate distractions to focus on your goals and to take the necessary actions to achieve them. Your mindset, too, is something you control. The way you think about yourself, the way you think about your challenges, and the way you perceive the world around you is in your hands. You get to choose whether you see obstacles as setbacks or as opportunities. You get to decide whether you'll let fear stop you or whether you'll use it as fuel to push forward. The way you think shapes the way you act, and the way you act shapes the way your life unfolds. Focus on controlling that mindset, the way you see challenges and how you approach them, and you'll be amazed at how much more empowered you feel. It's also crucial to focus on your habits, the small things you do every day, your morning routine, your routine, your work ethic, your discipline. Those are all within your control. You may not be able to control the circumstances, but you can control how you prepare for those circumstances. You can control your level of effort, the consistency of your actions, and your determination to stay the course. It's the little things done consistently that will lead you to the big things. So let me make this crystal clear. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. You can control your effort, your attitude, and your choices, and that's where your power lies. When you focus on what you can control, you stop being a passive participant in your own life and you become the driving force behind it. You take ownership, you take action, and you stop waiting for things to happen to you. You make things happen. This mindset is liberating, it's empowering, it frees you from the chains of frustration of trying to manipulate every little detail of life that's out of your hands. You take back control by focusing on what you can do, what you can change, and what you can improve. When you focus on what you can control, you realize you have the ability to shape your destiny, and once you see that, there's nothing that can stop you. I'm here to tell you right now, the time is now. You've got everything you need within you. The power to transform your life, to push through every obstacle, to achieve every goal. It's all in your hands. But here's the hard truth. Nothing is going to change unless you make it change. You can sit there day after day thinking about what you want, dreaming about what could be, or you can step up, take action, and make it happen. Do you know what you're capable of? Deep down, you know you've got that fire, that hunger, that drive to do more, to be more, to achieve more. But it's not going to come from wishing, from hoping, or from waiting for the perfect moment. It's going to come from action, from taking that first step and then taking the next and the next and the next. Every single day, if you want to transform your life, you have to make the decision today that you're going to take control. You've got to commit to doing whatever it takes. No more excuses, no more waiting for the stars to align. You have to make the commitment to show up and to show up consistently. Understand that success is not something that's handed to you. It's earned one day at a time, one choice at a time, one small action at a time. So ask yourself, are you ready to commit? Are you ready to stop sitting on the sidelines and start playing the game? Because I'm telling you, if you want to see change, if you want to see the results you've been dreaming of, you've got to get off that couch, get out of your head, and start putting in the work. It's that simple. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not going to be easy. It's not supposed to be. There's no transformation without sacrifice. There's no growth without struggle. There's no success without setbacks. But let me tell you, if you keep showing up, if you keep giving everything you've got, if you keep putting in the effort, the payoff is going to come. Because you'll look back and realize that every challenge, every moment you doubted yourself, every time you wanted to quit, that's where the growth happened. That's where the magic was. It's all part of the process. You've got to trust that. But here's the thing, you can't just talk about it. You can't just say you want something and expect it to fall into your lap. You've got to back up your words with action. So right now, I need you to take a good, hard look at yourself. What are you waiting for? What are you holding back? What's that thing inside you that you know you've got to do, but you've been putting off? Whatever it is, it's time. Today's the day you take that first step. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be a big leap. But you have to start. Even if you start small, even if it's just one step, one action, one decision, that's all you need. The first step is always the hardest, but once you make that move, you're no longer standing still. You're moving forward, and every day you take another step, the momentum builds, the confidence builds, the results start to show up. So I'm calling on you right now, get out of your comfort zone, stop waiting for the perfect time. There is no perfect time, there is only now. If you've been thinking about a goal, a dream, a vision for your life, then it's time to turn that thought into action. Don't let fear or doubt hold you back. Don't let uncertainty stand in your way. You're stronger than that. You've got more in you than you realize. And the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the decision to take action. You've got what it takes. But now it's time to prove it. It's time to take that first step, then the next and the next. Don't let anything hold you back. Because if you commit to yourself, if you decide that today is the day you take charge of your life, everything you want is within reach. You just have to take that first step and then keep moving forward. So make the choice today. No more waiting, no more wishing. Get up, get moving, and start making it happen. Your future is waiting for you, and it's in your hands. You've got everything you need to succeed. Now let's go. A growth mindset is one of the most powerful things you can cultivate in your life. It's the belief that your abilities, intelligence, and potential are not fixed. They are not determined by where you start or the limitations others may place on you. A growth mindset is the belief that you can always grow, you can always improve, and you can always learn. It's about embracing challenges, pushing through difficulties, and viewing setbacks not as failures, but as opportunities to learn and become better. Let me tell you, a growth mindset is a game changer. It changes the way you see everything. It turns obstacles into opportunities, mistakes into lessons, and failures into fuel for success. If you walk around with a fixed mindset, you're going to limit yourself. You're going to believe that what you know right now is all you'll ever be able to know. You'll believe that your talents and skills are predetermined, that you're either born with it or you're not. And that kind of thinking will keep you stuck, because it says that the moment you hit a challenge, the moment you face something hard, it's too late, you're not cut out for it. But with a growth mindset, you look at challenges and you say, bring it on. Because you know that you are capable of growing, learning, and adapting. You know that failure is not the end, it's just part of the process. It's a lesson in disguise. The growth mindset allows you to see every experience as a chance to improve. It frees you from the fear of failure. And let me tell you, fear of failure is one of the biggest obstacles most people face. It holds them back from trying new things, from pushing their limits, from stepping into their full potential. But when you have a growth mindset, failure doesn't scare you. In fact, you welcome it, because you understand that each failure is a stepping stone on the way to success. Every time you fall, you rise stronger. Every time you stumble, you learn something new that helps you move forward. Think about it. How many people have you seen who succeed not because they're naturally talented, but because they never gave up, because they kept pushing, learning, and growing? They faced challenges, they made mistakes, but they refused to be defined by them. They said, I'm not there yet, but I will be. I'm going to keep going until I figure it out. That's the power of a growth mindset. It's not about being perfect. It's not about getting everything right the first time. It's about the willingness to keep going, to keep learning, and to keep improving. You see, when you adopt a growth mindset, you stop seeing yourself as the finished product. You stop seeing your current skills, knowledge, and abilities as all you'll ever have. You start seeing yourself as a work in progress, as someone who is constantly evolving. Every day is an opportunity for you to grow, for you to get better, for you to reach new heights. You realize that your potential is limitless. There's no finish line. As soon as you reach one goal, you set your sights on the next. You grow into the person you need to become to achieve your next big thing. And that's powerful. This mindset also affects how you interact with others. When you believe that growth is possible, you're more likely to lift up the people around you. You understand that others can grow too. You see the potential in them even when they don't see it themselves. You encourage them to keep going, to keep learning, and to keep pushing, because you know that with effort and perseverance, they can achieve great things. You celebrate their wins because you understand that someone else's success does not diminish your own. Because you don't compare yourself to others. Instead, you use their success as proof that growth is possible for everyone, including you. Having a growth mindset means that you stop fearing the process. You stop resenting the hard work and the time it takes to achieve something worthwhile. You learn to love the grind because you know that every hour, every minute you put into your growth is an investment in your future. It's an investment in the person you want to become. And here's the thing, growth doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in a straight line. There will be setbacks. There will be frustration. There will be moments where you question if it's even worth it. But when you have a growth mindset, you push through those moments. You stay focused on the process, knowing that every step, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goals. A growth mindset also helps you see that you're not alone in this. You understand that everyone faces challenges, that everyone has moments of doubt, that everyone has obstacles to overcome. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they respond. Those with a growth mindset keep going, they keep learning, keep adapting, keep trying, and when they fail, they don't quit. They find a way to do better next time. You have everything inside you that you need to grow, to learn, and to succeed. All it takes is the willingness to believe in yourself, to trust in the process, and to keep moving forward even when it feels hard. The truth is, you are capable of so much more than you've probably allowed yourself to believe, but it starts with your mindset. It starts with the decision to embrace growth, to embrace the challenge, and to keep getting better every single day. Keep growing, keep learning, and keep believing in your ability to evolve, because when you do, there's no limit to what you can achieve. You are the only one standing in the way of your potential. So let go of the fear, embrace the growth, and go after what you want with everything you've got. Your future is waiting for you, and it's brighter than you can imagine. As I wrap this up, I want you to understand this transforming your life doesn't require a grand gesture or a moment of perfection. It starts with a decision to improve, even if it's just 1% every day. It starts with the realization that small, consistent changes compound over time to create incredible transformation. It starts with the mindset that you are capable of more, that your abilities aren't fixed, that your potential is limitless, and that the path forward, no matter how tough, is a path worth walking. There's no shortcut to success, no quick fix to building the life you want, but there is power in persistence, in resilience, in the courage to take one step at a time, even when it feels hard, even when you're facing setbacks. Growth doesn't happen overnight, but it happens through every choice you make, every action you take, and every challenge you overcome. I need you to walk out of here with the belief that you are capable of achieving what you set your mind to. You're not waiting for the perfect moment. The moment is now. It's time to take control of your future, to put in the work, to make those small improvements, and to embrace the journey no matter how long or difficult it may seem. You are the architect of your life. You have the power to shape your destiny with every decision you make. Keep moving forward, keep growing, and keep believing in your ability to transform your life. Because when you commit to growth, when you commit to showing up every day and giving your best, there's no limit to what you can achieve. The road ahead won't always be easy. There will be days of doubt, days when you'll want to quit. But in those moments, remember this transformation is a journey, and you, my friend, are on the right path. Keep walking, keep growing, and keep believing in the power you hold within you. Your future is waiting, and it's in your hands.